Well, let's bring in Dr.Merve Seren, an associate professor at Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Let's go back to this time last year. How big of a military, logistical, intelligence challenge was it for Turkey as they were about to launch this operation in Syria?
Well, actually, first of all, the success behind the Afrin operation really belongs to the military capabilities of the Turkish armed forces, as well as the courage and the willingness of the Free Syrian Army fighters. But I think we shouldn't. I think this is a very important topic because we shouldn't underestimate the role of the intelligence. For many years, Turkish National Intelligence Agency was very much concentrated on fight against terrorism inside the country. So they had very much wide knowledge about and the expertise about the PKK terrorism. But in the first time in the history that the National Intelligence Agency was very much involved into a cross-border operation. In this respect, I think we have to evaluate that the intelligence, the defense, and the domestic and the foreign political sphere are very much coordinated and very much cooperated with together. And this is, I think, this led to a very much functional harmony in the politics as well. So, well, actually, this is not a secret. And when you are looking on the media, you can see that Hakan Fidan and Hulusi Akar, who is the Ministry of the Defense in Turkey, they were going together to Moscow in order to, the deal or in order to discuss the current state of the Syria and its future. Also, you can see Hakan Fidan, the head of the National Intelligence Agency, when President Erdogan is discussing the regional matters, regional issues in White House, or he's also accompanying him when the Erdogan is paying, official visit to Moscow to speak with the Putin as well. So, and besides that, when we are talking about this defeating a terrorist organization, the intelligence agency played a very crucial role in this we said it's human intelligence and also the technical and electronic intelligence as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about Recep Tayyip Erdogan going to Washington, going to Moscow. Look, in terms of Turkey's military strength, just the numbers of the army, one of the biggest in the world, isn't it? Certainly in the Western world. But however big that army is, when it was going into that part of Syria to fight a terror group, the YPG, was it confronted with a slightly different plan in terms of, was it facing guerrilla warfare? Was it facing an enemy that was difficult to locate? Was it facing pitched battles? How did that go, those 58 days that eventually ended in victory for the military?
Mm-hmm. All right. Actually, when you first asking about the challenges that Turkey faced in the battlefield, I think the biggest challenge was about the defense technologies because, yes, we have got a very, populated Turkish army, but it's not necessary because, to be honest, Turkey has been very long time dependent on the defense technologies, the military technology of its Western allies. But since the 2000, Turkey has started to develop its own defense technologies and systems. Well, actually, looking at the ground, looking at the battlefield, you have to see that it's the first time that Turkey is using its own automatic rifles, MPT-76. And also, Turkey now is using its self-propelled howitzers. I mean, it's a T-155. It's like the Turkish variant of the K9. And also, Turkey is now using its drone technology, its own drones. I think drones are the game changers now in Turkey's Afrin operation as well. What are those drones are doing? They are they are detecting, they are identifying, tracking, or monitoring, and they are just destroying the enemy. So the TB2s that were locally developed by the Bayraktar, the Baykar company, they were just game changers. They were responsible for reconnaissance, surveillance, and they were also responsible of destructing, killing the terrorist organization, the terrorist targets. So since the Afrin operation, I think 4,500 terrorists were killed. And I think this is a very huge number, but of course, this number is just not the proof of your success because Turkish military is in Afrin, but Turkey is not there just for the military. Now Afrin is much more safer, it's much more stable, but Turkey is there for the education, Turkey is there for the health, for the infrastructure, and also creating a much more, providing a much more secure life for the daily lives for the Syrian local people. But as you said, I think the Turkish military, the defense technology, it was very important because it gives you confidence and trust to your own technology system. So whenever you need to fix a problem, then you're not waiting anymore for a technician to come from the abroad, and now your own technicians are fixing the problem whenever you need. And so I think this was the biggest challenge, that one of the biggest challenges that Turkey has come over.
Merve Seren, we appreciate your time. Thank you.